We are back on Play It Forward with Brian Pittala, filmmaker, writer, director of Asteroids. Brian, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I love doing these things, so thank you.
It's a pleasure. I'm glad to have you. And tell us if you would like a little bit about the film yourself, anything prior to
Yeah,
starting.
first off, my name is Brian Pittala. I am a filmmaker here in the Pacific Northwest. I live in Bellingham, Washington, which is just a little north of Seattle. My latest short that I submitted to you guys is Asteroids. It's a short film about a high school senior who lives in a very rural town. She gets accepted to a big college in a big city, and she has to now kind of overcome that hurdle of trying to let her parents know about her desires to go there and study music for fear that they won't sort of understand that she wants something more than her little small town life that she knows of right now. So she wants to take that step into the unknown.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah.
That's a great way of setting up. I appreciate it. And it's a really sweet story. It's a thing we can all relate to. It's a theme that I think we can all relate to no matter what. It's just, facing that um, uncertainty that may be difficult to convey to our peers, to our loved ones, something that we don't know if they're going to accept us for it. And you wrote, directed it, you edited it, shot it. It was really well done. And
Thank you.
there are a number of scenes and a number of locations on it. I think the first question, that I always ask and play it forward is where did the emotional connection for this topic and this story come from in your life?
The connection here, this is definitely the most personal story I've written to date. I've done a few short films now, and I've got a few under my belt. This one's my most personal. Growing up, I grew up in a tiny town in northern Vermont. So my little town was a dirt road off of a dirt road, and there's nothing to do there. Um, and yeah, it kind of that's kind of where the feeling came from for me sitting down to write something like this is that feeling of being in a small town, knowing that I want to do more than my town or my state can provide me at the time, and just trying to figure out how to do it. It's really tough when you come from a really small town with not a lot to do because there's you need funds and you need means to, move to a city or move somewhere else that's a little bit more suited for what you want to do with your life. And it's hard to do that. And sometimes you can kind of get stuck in that vortex of a small town because it's really easy to live there. It's like you can go to work, you can pay your bills day in, day out. It's not that you can get stuck in a loop and it's kind of not that difficult. So you have
It's
to like
safe.
put, yeah, it's safe, exactly. And you have to like push yourself out of your comfort zone in order to try to do things that you want. So that's kind of where the beginnings of the story came from. Um, I guess really one of the big differences between the story and my story is my parents are great. They're always been very supportive of me. For the story, um, we needed some kind of roadblock. And I know a lot of my friends growing up, a lot of people that I've met throughout my life, they kind of share an experience where they want to go out and do things bigger than their little town that they grew up in. Their parents just kind of don't, they kind of get scared for them, or they kind of don't want them to to go that far away from home and that sort of thing because like they've made their little home in this little tiny town and their lives center around a 50-mile radius of their house, and it's very safe there.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
I kind of wrote it from that perspective.
yeah. And it's, necessary to grow in order to grow, to try new things, to develop your skills, to develop your awareness and see what else is outside of your small world. So I think that's, for young people, really the draw is to get out there and, grow. They're still growing
Mhm.
mentally. it's my favorite part of the movie was towards the end where the filmmaker is looking out into the horizon, and that shot where the future is unknown and all there
Mhm.
is the present and the awareness of the future to come and how to navigate that. So I really connected with that on a human level. I think everybody can. And that kind of brings us into the second question. And by the way, dirt road off of dirt road, is it, you serious?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
So that's great. This meaning, what is the meaning and message of the movie as you see it as a viewer watching it now?
The way I see it now, kind of having lived that story and have come
Yeah.
out on the other side, is kind of just really to believe in yourself, believe in your gut, um, to really go for what you want. If it's something big, if it's something small, it doesn't matter. If it makes you happy, you gotta try to do it in the life that you got. In a lot of things I do, there's a lot of, it sounds a little cheesy, but it's like there's a lot of punk rock ethos in sort of the stuff I do where it's um it's all about being an individual, thinking for yourself, being accepting and loving of everything around you, um, no matter if it's different, but just trying to do your own thing and not hurt anyone in the process, that sort of thing. Um, and I feel that's one of the things I was trying to convey as well is like, yes, you got to believe in yourself, know that you have valid thoughts and opinions on whatever you want to have thoughts and opinions on, and if you have the means to try to do something bigger that you really want, then you really should go for it.
Yeah. Trusting yourself. That's a, critical um, skill and a critical, connection to have with yourself as you navigate the world.
Yeah, and being just aware of yourself enough to really
Yeah.
know who you are, what you
Yeah.
want, and how you're going to do it.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. That trust begins with awareness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easier for some than others. It's, I mean, for most of us, that's a hard hurdle to get over, but it's something maybe we don't fully get over, but it's worth trying at least.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
It's it's part of the human experience, and it's so critical to um, get there. That's the home. That's really the home.
hmm
You know.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
the last question is, how have you been changed as a person since making this movie?
Um, Personally, well, I guess there's sort of two sides to that, and on a personal human level, um, it's allowed me to this telling this story, doing this film has allowed me to have many conversations with people that I never thought I would have. There's a lot of people that sort of relate to this film, and I can talk to them about it. And it's like I know this is sort of a universal thing, but um, it's weird when you're face to face with it, like seeing just how universal it is, how everyone has gone through something like this. And it's a very special kind of experience to have your art mean something to someone. That's sort of what it's all about. And so that's a huge accomplishment that I've found with finishing this film is just people's reaction to it and how it's been overwhelmingly positive and therapeutic for some, which is
Yeah,
great. If my art can do that just a little bit for someone, that's a win for me. So I
cool.
love it. And then on the flip side, as a filmmaker, it's given me a lot more confidence going forward because this is the most biggest and probably most ambitious short film I've done to date. And I had very little help on it. Basically, the crew was myself. Um, I had my fiance Emily and her brother Eli. They're not film people, but they are very smart and they wanted to help me out. So it was basically just the three of
Awesome.
us doing it. So I would start things and then I could hand them off to one of them too, and they could, do sound, help me with lighting, all that stuff.
It's
And then it was
huge.
yeah, and then it's on me to not only film it, I had to yeah, direct it, do casting, get all the props, get all the locations, figure out everyone's schedule, do the whole SAG after paperwork, edit it,
It's
get
awesome.
all the licensing for the music. It's
It's awesome.
everything, everything.
It's awesome.
Um,
Talk
and
about
so
DIY punk rock. I mean, that's it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right. And so doing that process, I knew it was something I could do. Um, there's little bits in the film where that I don't think are perfect by any means, but when I look at what I had to work with, I'm pretty proud of how it
absolutely.
came
You
out.
should be.
And yeah, and my actors were great. My actors are perfect. They were such a saving grace. Each one of them is just so professional to the highest level. I love them all.
That's awesome. That's
But
awesome.
yeah, it gives me great confidence moving forward that I can, if I need to, I can do things on my own and make them, not half bad. So
For
that
sure, for
helps.
sure. And I think with this piece, it's going to help you and then get to that next level where, you find the colleagues you can work with to offload some of the things that, can help you focus on the writing and the directing part.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
sort of what I'm doing now, like going into my next projects. It's definitely, trying to find help so I don't have to do everything myself is definitely a plus.
awesome. Brian Pittala, filmmaker, writer, director. Thank you for being on Play It Forward.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I love what you guys are doing with this platform, and I love that you're even giving small people like me a voice. So please keep
Oh,
doing what you're
please.
doing. I
We're
love
all
it.
we're all the same size
Yeah, right.
in our hearts, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. That,
Of
is
course.
definitely encouragement going forward. And until next time, everybody, peace on Play It Forward.